Hey everybody, what I wanted to do today was to show you how to process your photos, pick out the ones you really want to keep, maybe do some cropping and brief adjustments, and then also how to get them onto your Google Drive. So before I do anything, I'll open up my computer, I'll log in with my ID and my password, which is my birth date with an X on the front and an X on the back. And you'll see the main desktop here, and I'm going to right click with the mouse and do new folder. And I'm going to title this photography 2019, or maybe your name photography. That's my main folder. And inside it, I'm going to try to put each of my assignments. If we don't organize stuff, you're going to be looking through 300, 400 photos by the end of the quarter, and it gets kind of frustrating. So I'll just right click again. Actually, I'll do it this way. I'll right click on the desktop, do new folder. I'm going to title this Obrick Photos. Click off of it and then drag that into the folder. Okay, so now I'm ready to get my photos off of my SD card onto the computer. You'll grab your SD card reader, which has your number on it. You'll plug it into the USB port. You'll hear a little click. It'll say that something came up, and then you'll actually see it by opening up a new window. So I'm going to minimize my folder. I'm going to go into here, click on, it says SDHC, which is just your SD card reader, and I go under DCIM 100 Canon, and then there's all of my photos. Now there's a good chance that someone's photos from previous classes are on here. Like I know for a fact I haven't taken a photo of a campfire. So the date will come in really handy. If your camera's date maybe got goofed up, like I'll notice when I go all the way to the bottom here, those photos are probably my photos from my Obrick trip. And I can see that they're January 16th, which clearly is not the date that is right now. But because there's a whole bunch of them and they're the most recent and it's 2019, I'm pretty sure these are my photos. I could click on one if I really want to check it. But I'm going to go up until I see the 116 photos have ended. So there we go. There's the last of them. So I'll hold down Shift, select them all at once, and then I'm going to click on the blue. You can see it's collecting 65 photos, and I'm going to drag it into my photography folder. And you can see that it's loading them all up. And now when I click on this, there's all of my photos. Now it didn't end up in the Obrick photo folder, but that's fine. Again, just hold down Shift, select the last photo, and I can just drop it into there and move all the photos. Now it's organized and I'm happy. Okay, so to process your photos, I like to click on the very first one in the left top corner, and it's going to come up in the viewer, and I'm just going to use the arrows on the keyboard and click to the right to start going through my photos. So this one I might be thinking, oh, I kind of like that. That could be a good rule of thirds if it was just a little bit more off center, so I'm going to keep it. I'll keep clicking through. What I'm really looking for are any that are super blurry or I just plain don't like. This one I really don't like that you can see the type of species it is over here. I just want the flower. So I could actually start processing the photo by cropping it. Just click right here, and I can do crop and rotate, and I'm just going to crop out that part, and I can kind of drag the picture to make those adjustments. And now if I kind of go in even closer, it'll just be really zoomed in on the flower, and I really, really like that. So I'll save a copy, and I can title it, we can do flower zoomed in, or whatever will help you remember it. And the big thing is I need to find my folder again. So I'm going to go to the desktop, going to go photography, Obrick photos, and then I'm just going to save it in there. And I'll be able to find it later. So again, I'm just clicking through. This one is really blurry. I mean, the spikes are kind of cool, but not a great photo. So I'm just going to hit the trash can, and I'm going to delete it. So that's my job, is to just keep looking through all of my photos and just getting rid of the ones that I really don't like. This one's pretty washed out. I kind of don't like that one. It's a good example of framing, so I could keep it just in case, but I definitely don't like this one, so I'm going to get rid of that. I don't like that you can see the tenting kind of plastic in the back. I like this one a lot. So again, just clicking through quick with that right arrow. And I'm looking for blurry photos, washed out photos, photos that it just didn't turn out the way I like. Here's a good example. The butterfly is super duper blurry. So I'm going to delete that one. Oh, and that one much better. So again, just keep looking through your photos. And you're just trying to get rid of the ones that aren't as strong. So that's just your initial. Like this one, really blurry, but this one next to it, I love the upward angle of the flower. So I can get rid of this one. And again, if you want to crop, sometimes you can kind of compose a composition. So say this one, I really like kind of this rock and I want to make rule of thirds. I could crop it in a way that'll make that composition. And this is something that photographers do all the time. They take kind of the raw photo. And remember, with rule of thirds, it's going to intersect those little grids that's coming up for me. So saying this is my subject, kind of off to the center, save my copy. I've made my rule of thirds picture. And just make sure it's in the Olbrich folder. It looks like it is. We'll go rule of thirds, save it, and then I'm set to go. So once I've kind of clicked through, I think I'm good. Then just so you can also use these photos in Brian's class, you're going to want to go into your Google Drive. So just to go on the internet, I'm going to go to my MMSD email. And then I'm going to go into the drive, which is the little, I call it the waffle, but it's like the grid shape right here. Go into the drive. And then over here, you'll see shared drives. So there should be a drive that I shared with you that's photography and phonology. And when you go into it, you're going to see all of our names. So if I go into my Rachel folder, and before I do anything, again, if you put all of your files in here without any organization, you're going to feel pretty frustrated. So I would do a new folder. I would call this Olbrich trip or something similar to that. Once my folder comes up, I can go new file upload. And then I'm just going to grab off the desktop all my photography photos. So starting with that, scroll all the way down, hold down shift so you can select a whole bunch at once, hit open, and it's going to start to populate. Now this might take a little bit, which is no big deal, but as it's coming up, you can kind of look and start thinking about which ones are going to meet the different composition criteria. And that's about it.